Hey, Chris Duncan here, and today I want to do this video to talk to you about the emotional clarity chart. I'll share a little bit more about this in just a second, but first, if you're in business and you need to reach more people, I know what it's like to be frustrated that you have something that's really good that people don't know about. For me, it was a very frustrating time. I was trying online marketing, offline marketing, networking events, cold calling, everything I could to try to get my message out there. I read this book. It was by a guy named Chet Holmes, and it was called The Ultimate Sales Machine. And what I found in that book was his ability to be able to use education and information to create an informed buyer. So I started doing presentations. My companies took off. Every company I've had has always been built around a highly converting presentation. One where you bring people along for free, you connect with them, you teach them their problem, you teach them the path to solve the problem, and you teach them about your product. What I realized through helping many people to get their presentation together after this, having my companies run for, I think the longest presentation we have running right now is 5 years, and it's done multiple millions of dollars. Having these run for so long is there's a difference between presentations that work and presentations that don't. And so I started mapping it out. We ran the campaigns for some really big speaker trainers and speaking events, including the guy who trained Tony Robbins. We ran his events and promoted them. And then also we had the Gary Vaynerchuk event and many other big things. And I sat there and I'm also doing presentations myself. I think we're up to about 1,500 webinars now and over 500 live presentations. I was obsessed about this. Once I figured out that presentations were the answer, I was doing them Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, live every week, and then also doing the webinars multiple times every single week to make sure that I really grew this skill. So it's been over a decade. And what I've found is there's this line, because you need to be able to do two things, okay? And I know this is small, but this line here, as you see it go through, this is the emotional clarity line. And this line is the difference between being too salesy and getting everyone annoyed at you and then just giving away all your good stuff for free. There's this line. And inside of this chart, there's 6 keys. So let me show you the chart. It starts off here. On one side is time, and on one side it's emotion. Okay. Now, in order for someone to buy from you, they must have emotion and clarity. So they must be clear on number 1, that you're the right person. Number 2, they have a problem. And number 3, that you have the right path. Okay. So the first thing that happens is someone comes in pretty neutral. And this is the first phase. Now, what we call this is setup. Okay. So this first phase is setup. Then you tell your story and you increase the emotion in the room when you tell your story. The next thing is you tell them the struggle that you had to go through and the struggle that they have to go through, and the emotion drops. The emotion drops in the room. They feel the pain, they feel the struggle. Then you share with them and you step them through the steps to ultimate success, okay? And as you step them through, they get excited and then they learn something. So time continues without getting them more excited. But as they piece it together, as they take your content, they piece it together, they start getting more and more excited. Now, I first started thinking of this concept when I took a training by a guy named Sean Clark. And I've got so much gratitude for this guy. He had something called emotional momentum. And the chart looked very similar to this. What I've added to what he's done is to understand that there's clarity. Because the next thing you have to do is, now that you've done the steps and you've shown them the steps, now you must go on sale. Now, as soon as you tell them what your system is, there's a burst of excitement followed by the directly realizing they have to pay money. So you go on sale and their emotion drops. And then when you let them know how easy it is to buy, they should go like this. Now, I loved his momentum chart, that there was a momentum and there was emotion. But what I noticed was there's this piece of clarity that someone needed to have to buy. So in order for them to get clarity, the first thing that I had to do right was this phase here. And this is setup and story. The next phase here were the steps. This is my content, okay? So inside the steps, there's many things, and you'll see on this chart, and if you want, you can download the chart. There's many things in here, what they buy, the way out. It says steps and seed, ROI. There's a lot of things that are going on. I'm just giving you the broad strokes here. So this was the steps, and you would seed your offer. Then, the last big thing here is that you're going to give them the system stack, and you're going to go on sale. And these are these two emotions. You first were creating the system stack and then going on sale. And so what I realized out of all of this, what really mattered was that I gave them 3 emotions, okay? The first emotion was hope. The second emotion was excitement. And the third emotion was urgency. So they needed to feel the emotion of hope. Wow, there's a way out. They needed to go, this is exciting. And the last is, I have to do it right now. And then there were 3 pieces of clarity. And the pieces of clarity that I first saw was they needed to know that they had a problem. They had to be clear that I was the right person and that they trusted me. And lastly, that I'd given them a path that they could follow. And when they had those 6 things, I realized that my presentation worked. If I didn't get a person to feel these things, it didn't work. And so then what I did is I started to understand that there was 6 things that I had to do in a talk. There was an emotional flow that someone went to. There was a timeline, and there was pieces of clarity that I wanted them to do. So I started producing presentation after presentation after presentation that worked. And I hope that this made a lot of sense for you. If you want to grab this sheet, you can click on the link below. It comes with a training where I take you through exactly how to go through all this. I'm very, very, very proud of this chart. So I hope that you enjoyed that. Leave a comment under this video with a yes or a me, or click on the message link to get access to this chart. I hope that it serves you like it served me and my clients. And I want you to know this. If you can get a presentation working, it's going to change everything for you. You can put leads into the presentation and sales come out the other end. This is one of the most important things that you're going to need. I hope you enjoyed this. Comment below if you want it, or click on the link. Have an amazing day. Go out there and smash it.